What is the most ground swallow me up embarrassing moment that's ever happened to you? I found the love of my life while my coin slot was gushing Kool-Aid during my psychology final. My period was so bad that my no-no square had more flow than Kendrick's disses. I had forgotten all the material on my psych final because I couldn't stop thinking about how my cotton stick definitely got lost up there. I studied before and my tears were dropping onto the exam booklet. I was so nervous I could throw up. If I failed this final I'd lose my scholarship. Out of nowhere, a sticky note paper airplane flew next to me with tiny answers to all the multiple choice questions. When I turned to see who threw it at me, it was this 6'5" Nate Jacobs looking man. At the end of the exam, I left confident that I passed and spent my entire afternoon talking to my new man. He made me feel special and smart, and he had a wonderful habit of calming even my most irrational fears, like Nikocado Avocado. Even our intimate life was perfect. I always found him incredibly attractive whenever he wore his gray sweatpants. When I realized I didn't have my period for months, I was happy until I realized I could be sentenced to an even worse fate, motherhood. I instantly went to check if I was pregnant, and when I saw the positive sign, my mind went through the TikTok list of reasons not to have kids and sent myself to the heavens. I decided to tell him that night, and what he said completely shifted our relationship. I slid the test over to him, and he looked shocked but excited. He hugged me so tight I thought the baby might burst and croak inside. That's when he dropped a bombshell on me. He's a trust fund baby. He's been rich this entire time and hiding it to blend in with us working class folk. When I asked him why he'd hide this from me, he told me the truth. He wanted to make sure I loved him for him. He took one look at my smile, got on one knee, and said, "I know I don't have a ring, but will you marry me?" It was so soon, but I knew I loved him, so I said yes. We had a small backyard wedding, and I met his family. When I went to shake their hand, they jolted and put hand sanitizer on immediately as if I were dirty. I tried to start a conversation, but they just asked if I signed a prenup yet. When I said I didn't, they started loudly whispering that I was just going to turn their family into GTA club dancers. I tried to tell them that I loved their son for who he was, but they just started creating an entire plan to stop me from turning their mansion into a Heisenberg EdCT den. For weeks after, they started picking on me in every way possible. His mother even started claiming I had swallowed 3 dogs to pose as a pregnant woman. For reference, I'm Asian. His younger sister stalked my social media and commented that my toys must turn soft when they see me. They even tried to call the cops on me for drinking a cup of coffee. When it was time for me to give birth to my baby, they saw me accidentally poop the bed and claimed that it looked just like me. My husband tried to get them to stop, but nothing worked. It didn't help that when I had my baby, I gained a lot of weight during pregnancy, thinking that I could lose it all after childbirth, and I was wrong. Months after giving birth to my son, my body was still swollen and 50 pounds heavier than before. I felt like a prisoner in a shell because my self-esteem had taken a massive hit. My husband tried to get me to cheer up by inviting me on dates and initiating intimacy, but I was just so insecure that I refused to go out, or even let him touch my body. As a result, our intimate life devolved into nothingness. My hair also started thinning out, which made everything worse, and now I was even afraid to look in the mirror. My in-laws even started to notice, and they didn't let it go to waste. They claimed I must have hid babies 2 and 3 in there. I tried to hide in plain sight, and it didn't take long for my husband to begin to notice that I was declining. Every time I looked in the mirror, I started noticing every flaw they pointed out. When they told me they were considering entering me in my 600-pound life to earn some of my own money, instead of brushing them off, I just started tearing up and locking myself in the bathroom. My mother-in-law started sending me bags full of laxatives so that I could get rid of the rest of my baby weight, and she even made it a point to say that I only had a few months left before my husband would leave me for someone skinnier. I started avoiding the mirror, just in case I'd see the stomach they compared to a Big Mac. I started to shut down and started dressing like Adam Sandler. I stopped showering and washing my hair, and I stopped looking at myself entirely. When my husband would try to hold me at night, I would shrink into a little ball and avoid his touch as much as possible. His in-laws drilled the thought that I wasn't good enough for him, and I didn't want to spoil him with my nasty touch. My husband, being the absolute angel on earth that he was, took control of the house. He helped with the baby, helped me cook, and tried his hardest to ease my anxieties, but nothing worked. Eventually, I could tell he started feeling heartbroken when I let his parents' insults affect me so deeply that I would tell him to find someone better than me. He would tell me he wanted no one else but me, but he started drifting away from me, just like his parents said he would. Deep down, I knew he loved me, but I forced us apart, and we seemed more like co-parents than a couple. One day, I was hanging out with my friend in the most ridiculous oversized clothing to hide my overgrown body when she rightfully called me out. She noticed that I wasn't obsessing over my phone to text my husband, and I started to make a million fat jokes a minute. I basically puked out everything that happened since I got pregnant, and she told me that it was natural to feel lost after having a baby. She pulled out pictures from when she gave birth to her son, and she looked about 6'3" wide, which was completely different from the thin girl I know today. She told me that she felt at her lowest when she gave birth, but she used Obby Collagenic Elite pills to help her lose her stubborn baby fat and it came right off. She basically ordered me to get off my butt and stop choosing panic over my life. I went home that day feeling like there was a layer of grease on me and I finally needed hand sanitizer to get rid of my in-laws' grease. So I planned it all out. When my in-laws went on their annual vacation to the Bahamas, I'd make them eat their words, and I'd get to keep my man. When I started out using the Collagenic Elite pills, I noticed my saggy stomach went away first. I lost 3 pounds in the first week and the blessings kept coming, as I lost another 5 the week after. After 3 months, I lost weight faster than Eugenia Cooney, and came out 30 pounds lighter. I looked at myself in the mirror and knew that if I wanted to, I could be a GTA club dancer and succumb to my legacy as a gold digger with how good I was looking. Even though I started off to prove a point to my in-laws, I was happy I started taking the Collagenic Elite pills because I was prettier and felt free. Because the Obby Elite pills had collagen, my hair even started looking silky, and my nails were finally getting long enough to wear those long nails most girls my age were wearing. I started treating myself for once, because before the baby, there was the panic from school, so I decided I deserved it. I started a beauty routine, went to nail appointments, I even got rid of the baggy clothes that made me look like a wannabe SoundCloud rapper. Even my man started noticing the difference, because he started sneaking up on me and whispering how much he missed me. I bagged him from Aura alone, and I was starting to realize that my in-laws were wrong about him. He needed me, and he showed it when he laid in bed, and instead of jumping my newly snatched body, he played with my hair and told me how much he loved me. Soon enough, when my in-laws came home, they started threatening to sue me because they thought I stole their Ozempic. My husband and I just laughed at them, while we made plans to go on a date together. He even asked me for my secret, and I tried to drag the reveal out for a while, but as soon as I saw his little grin while staring at me, I spilled. He decided to take some Obvi Collagenic Elite as well, and the change in him was insane. He became more fit, which made me want him to carry me with one hand and the other hand holding my newly developed body. My in-laws hated whenever my husband and I came around, because it was clear that we had a new type of glow. By the time my son was 2 years old, any type of insults they threw at me flew straight away. I even mustered the courage to block them and ban them from our house, to which my husband realized was the best decision. There was never going to be an excuse to bring me down again, especially with this new change. I was even thinking of buying my mother-in-law some Obvi Collagenic Elite too, because I'm tired of my steps breaking when she comes over to my house.